Got traffic there. Blaster, just take it up to the departure end of the runway, then a left turn and a lowest downwind. Cessna over the threshold, coming up on the white dot, at or beyond the white dot, left turn first available. I got a high wind coming up on about a half-mile final, clear to land at or beyond. Traffic on the left base, you're following a Cessna down, low off your left. Square it up just a little bit, and then we're going to get you in. Start your descent, though. Start your descent on the base. Traffic on final, give me follow on base. Base traffic, start turning toward the numbers now. High wing coming up on quarter-mile final, take it all the way down to the green. Cessna taxiing on the green, expedite down to the next hard surface. Get me some speed, there you go, 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 go fast. This is going to be good. I got traffic on a mile final, you're following traffic ahead and to your right. High wing coming up on the threshold, take it all the way down to the green dot.
5 Charlie Sierra, 2 mile final.
A mile final, turn north, and we're going to just make you, we're going to bring you back around. Jet traffic's coming up on about a mile and a half final, runway 9er clear to land.
Okay, all right, let's listen up, guys. If you're on final for runway 9, I want you to offset to the left. I got a jet that's landing on runway 9. The jet's cleared to land runway 9 if you can make it. If not, just continue straight ahead. It looks like you're going around for the jet. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine.
Oh, we have one right in front of us, sir.
Dragger, let's see, what we got, a tricycle, put it down, tricycle, put it down, tail dragger, down to the green dot, then a left turn. Short final here, you cleared land on 9, all the way to the white dot, go down to the white dot. Find somebody to follow out here. Kennard, just come to the runway and I might have to just send you around, that'll be fine. And for the jet, you just want to stay in this pattern or you want to go back out for an instrument approach?
Stay in a pattern, Charlie Sierra.
All right, just stay with me here for a minute. And my tail dragger, let's see, over the numbers, go down to the green. And Kennard's going to have to go around. Kennard, go around. And my high wing here over the runway, keep it airborne. You do not descend. You got a fast guy behind you. Do not descend. There you go. Keep it airborne. As soon as the guy behind you gets slowed down, I'm going to put you down. So keep it airborne. The one that just passed the white dot, make a left turn on the hard surface. All right, my high wing tail dragger, you can put it down now. And Charlie Sierra, let me get you about a mile off. Let's see, Charlie Sierra, I lost. There you are. Make a left-hand turn. I'll try to resequence you here on the downwinds. We'll see how it looks. Short final, you're clear to land runway 9 on the white dot. There you go. And the tricycle left on the hard surface and follow the flagman. Welcome. Thanks for being part of the show. And let's see, just find somebody to follow on the final, and as you get close to the runway, if it's not going to work, we're going to send you around and then try to re-sequence you. Now, who else got sent around that's not back on the downwind? The Kennard?
Yeah, Kennard.
All right, Kennard, there's a Gulfstream up there that went around too. I just lost sight of him, but you're going to make kind of a left-hand turn and stay low. I think Charlie Sierra, what's your altitude?
3,200.
Okay, that'll be fine. Just maintain VFR. I don't know what else is up there above you. Probably most everybody's down here, so just make a left-hand turn. We'll try to get you back here.
Kennard's got the jet in sight.
Okay, the RV, maybe an RV-10, whatever, here on final. Keep your speed up and go all the way down to the, aim for the green dot for me. Actually, keep your speed up. There's a guy behind you. Aim for the green dot, and I'm sure that's plenty of room for you to land on runway 9. You're clear to land on runway 9. Number 2, you're going to go down to the white dot. Follow the white dot. Actually, you know what? That's 1,500 feet. You're going to land at the white dot. The spacing looks adequate here. 2 guys on final. You're kind of tight there. Keep each other in sight, and you're going to aim for the white dot. If it's not going to work, we'll come up with a plan B. We might have to send you around. The second guy behind you out there in about a 2-mile final. Are you slow enough to be able to follow that guy in front of you? You need to go around.
Yeah, I can follow.
Well, I probably shouldn't ask that because I had about 5 guys answer me, so I should know better than that. After 35 years, you would think, right? All right, so let me see. The guy who's number 1, it's number 1. What kind of airplane is he? An RV type. All right, RV type. Keep it airborne for me. Keep it airborne. And I got a fast guy behind you. The number 2 guy over the trees there. Go ahead and put it down on the numbers. My first guy just coming up on the numbers at the over the grass at the numbers. I want you to keep
T-minus 1 minute and counting.
Hello. Hello.
everybody, and welcome to this week's live stream. It's 7:30, it's Thursday, and the really, really sharp-eyed ones amongst you will notice that Johnny is not here. No, Johnny has gone. Not forever, probably, but at least for today. So in his place, we've got the vastly superior Annabelle. Hello, Annabelle. Welcome.
Stop, Johnny.
We were wondering what to call you, but you went with Annabelle, I see. Okay, well, we may or may not change that later on, but thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to your participation. Is this your first ever live stream presenter gig?
I've been a live stream guest, but not a live stream presenter.
You've had a peek behind the curtain. You've seen the ineptitude with which we put it all together.
The production standards are not slipping because there's nowhere for them to go.
Oh, believe me, there is. There most definitely is, and it can stop by muting you. No, right, okay, first things first. As usual, thank you hugely to Sky Demon for supporting the channel, supporting the live stream. What am I talking about? And here is your Sky Demon tip of the week. This time it's from Rob.
Hi, I'm Rob from Sky Demon, and here's another top tip. As you plan a route in Sky Demon, you'll see the wind barbs fly onto the screen. Use the long and the short ticks on the barbs to easily see the wind strength, in this case around 10 knots. Or open the What's Here menu to read it directly. We include wind forecasts up to 24,000 feet and around 30 hours into the future, and we use this data when calculating the headings and ground speeds for your pilot's log. In the virtual radar, you can even see arrows of various sizes indicating a head or tailwind. Here you can see we have a nice tailwind, and opening What's Here confirms that it's 14 knots. This flight has been planned at 5,500 feet, which we can see in here. So that's the altitude for which we are showing wind on the main map. You can change this here, but you can also use the animation tool to see what the wind is doing at different altitudes. With the animation tool active, use a vertical swipe on it to change the level of the wind displayed. You can now also long press anywhere on the map in this mode to see the wind for that point. For more information, check out our website www.skydemon.aero.
That's bonkers. I've never seen an animated Sky Demon before.
Yeah, it's like quite scary. Because I mean, I like the way that Rob did a video where everything's a tailwind. 14 knot tailwind. Almost every time I go flying, it's going the other way. 14 knot headwinds all round. Right, moving on. Thank you very much, Sky Demon, again. And just a quick reminder, I think Dave put this in the newsletter yesterday, and there's a story on the website. But if you don't know, Fly 2023 clearly is starting to come to an end. Just 3 months left. So 2,023 minutes, 23 airfields, supported very kindly by both Continental and New Avionics. Thank you very much, you three. Please put your entries on the forum, send them to Johnny, or do whatever you can, and that will be good. Right, what's next? It must be time for the weather. So, where can I get a Sky Demon waistcoat? You can get a Sky Demon waistcoat at the same place you can get a flyer cap, which means nowhere currently, I believe.
It could be like Sky Demon merch, couldn't it?
Do you think if I bought flyer waistcoats for all the presenters, would everyone sit there wearing them?
No.
I would.
Yeah, I suspect that. I suspect they wouldn't. Right, here we go. Let's see if we can do a little bit of production value thingy. So let's bring Simon on here.
Yeah.
Pop him up in the top left-hand corner.
Evening all. How are we?
How are we doing? Good. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I'm all right, thank you. Should we buy everybody Simon shirts?
Yeah. I'm surprised you haven't. Is that not merch?
I think it needs to be, don't you? I think it should be. Definitely. Should we do a bit of weather?
Why not?
Just tell us which day to go flying.
Yeah, go flying. There you go, finished. Yeah, England and Wales looking pretty good this weekend. Scotland not so great, I'm afraid. I wanted to show you this pretty little picture. First of all, this is the satellite picture from this afternoon. Quite nicely shows the jet stream and the demarcation zone between the sunshine to the south and the heat wave that they've been getting across Europe and the cloud that we've been having through the UK. That's the jet stream kind of blowing through us right now. That's actually going to move northwards during the weekend. So it brings that sunshine with to the south a little bit further north. Unfortunately, Scotland, you're going to be stuck with the jet stream over the top of you. So not so great conditions there. But this is how Friday shows. That high pressure is down to the south of us on Friday, starting to bring that clearer air into us. But I think it's going to be a bit hit and miss during Friday morning as that cloud breaks. But actually, across many parts of England and Wales, it turns into a really nice day. Front hanging through northern England, through Northern Ireland, bringing some cloud, low cloud, particularly for northwest England, southwest Scotland, Northern Ireland. You see here those orange between about 500 and 1,000 feet. So not that great there, but you see the white colours down towards the south. That's that clearer air coming north. For Scotland, some showers for the north and the northwest, but drier and clearer in between. Pretty breezy, though, across Scotland during tomorrow. Excuse me. Now, on to Saturday. That drier air getting northwards even more. You see the white colours by then extended across most of England and Wales and Ireland. So I think we're going to be seeing little cloud on Saturday. Yeah, it'll probably be at about 6,000 to 7,000 feet if we saw any cloud at all. But generally, it looks as if those higher bases. But the warm front, again, hanging through Scotland. So you see here, more cloud around, about 1,000 to 2,000 foot bases, central Scotland. But for northern England, again, I think we're going to be finding the clouds sort of shrouding the hills. So little bits of drizzle across the far north and perhaps northeast of England. But the rest of England and Wales and Ireland look basically fair. Far north of Scotland as well. Just stays out of that muck and mess. Technical term for you, of course. And then for Sunday, high pressure still with us. It's down towards the south again on Sunday. Still got this southwesterly flow. So I'm a little bit concerned that we might get some low cloud across western coast of Wales, perhaps the western coast of southwest England, perhaps coming into the far western channel on Sunday. But otherwise, this weak front just brings a bit of cloud across central and eastern areas. Nothing to worry about, though. Bases 3,000 to 4,000 feet, good visibility as well. Although across Scotland, we're still suffering, really. Western parts of Scotland, Northern Ireland, possibly the far northwest of England. I think bases around 1,000 to 1,500 feet. The risk of a little bit of low cloud over western Scotland, particularly, but eastern areas of Scotland look as if they should be brighter and generally fair. So you see what I mean? It's not a bad weekend. A lot of it down to the positioning of that jet stream, which, as I say, is going to be moving further north. But I think certainly over the weekend, probably England and Wales seem to be the best bet overall for flying. So I think make the most of it. It's going to be pretty warm as well. Get out there, enjoy it. It's almost like a last taste of summer. Have a good one. See you next week.
Thank you very much, Simon. Have a good one.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, that was pretty nice, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we were missing. I felt like we were missing an advert for weather school.
I felt and the same happened last week, and I'm kind of wondering. Hang on a minute, let's bring him back. Simon.
Yeah.
We're missing an advert for weather school. You're not doing it anymore.
Well, it's great news for me. It's bad news for people who want to come to weather school, because every weather school I've got at the moment is fully booked. So I'm trying to get some more dates in for the end of the year. So as soon as they're there, I will let you know. But thanks to everybody, because you've booked them up. So I'm trying to work in some more dates for you. But I'll have those for you probably next week or the week after. There you go.
Well, that's good. That's good news, isn't it?
Which is great. You know, let's just keep it coming. But there's only so much Simon to go round.
On that note, I'm going to leave you. Good news. Right. Quick question of the week. And you'll understand why when we get to our special guest later. Amelia Richardson is here. We can see her waiting in the green room. Thank you very much, Amelia. So, big question of the week. Have you ever gone solo in a glider? And if so, what kind of glider was it? So let us know in the comments. Yeah. Anyone here? So,
I have not, but I know you might have.
I have. I went solo in something called a Botion.
Okay.
How about you, Annabelle?
No, I have had a couple of winch launches, but not more than that. So.
Did you have a glider at the time, or was it just like dragging?
No, just me. Just me in a plastic bag. Yeah.
Excellent. Dave.
Yes, I went solo in a glider in a 2-day course at Lasham. But from being a powered pilot to solo in a glider, it was actually really intense 2 days. It wasn't so much flying the glider that was the issue. It was the takeoff. It was a tug plane takeoff. And they wanted to make sure I was doing that without cartwheeling the glider down.
Killing the tug pilot.
And the tug pilot. So, yeah, but that was really quite hard. That was very hard, but managed to squeeze it in at the end of the second day.
Brilliant. Do you remember what glider it was? Was it like a K-13?
It was a
K7 or K-13? Maybe?
I cannot remember the number. It was a long time ago.
Okay, K number, some kind.
K-number.
Cool.
There's plenty of people as well in the comments, so we'll circle back round to them later.
Yeah, excellent. Good. Well done. Right, news. Dave.
News.
Here's some news.
I was looking at the comments all of a sudden. So, top story this week is about Old Sarum Airfield. The saga goes on. Now there has been a new planning application submitted for developing parts of the airfield. The good news is that, according to the plan at least, the grass runway is retained and will be at the centre of the development, along with some new facilities for flying activities. It's actually very close to the plan that was put out to public consultation last March. And it's a much smaller print of houses, much smaller number of houses than was on the original 2015 plan that got chucked out. If you look at the plans online on the Wiltshire Planning Portal, there's an immense amount of work gone into this. It must have cost a couple of million alone just to come up with all the documents that's required these days. But it does.
Not everyone works on your rates, Dave.
What?
Not everyone works on your rates.
Oh, by the way, no, it's. I know you can argue with this a bit, Ian, but it actually looks a reasonable mix of development and keeping the flying going.
I'm not going to argue with it at all. Actually, I'm just going to point out a couple of things for some of the comments I've seen online on other social media sites like Facebook and stuff like that. First of all, this is not someone saying, okay, this is exactly what we're going to do. This is an application for planning. So it's someone kind of setting out their stall. Secondly, quite often applications for planning involve a degree of horse trading. And thirdly, yes, it would be true to say that there are some cynical views out there, and I may well sympathise with some of those cynical views. I think that, the devil's in the detail, and we'll see what happens. Clearly, Old Sarum has gone from being a jewel in the crown of a beautiful little airfield in Wiltshire to a place where you can't actually really go and land or do anything at all unless you're skydiving at the moment. So it's clearly, and the hangars are kind of in a bit of a state. And there's all sorts of politics and stuff that's gone on, and people who used to be based there are not allowed to. It's just turned into a complete mess. So it would be very good if it changes to something positive in the future. It'd be very bad if all of a sudden that development morphed into something without a runway or without the ability to have any aviation there at all. It is a historic site. It does have historic buildings. It is an important site. And we need it to be retained. We need it to be retained and open for people to fly in and out of, and for people to enjoy. And that these days that means a kind of multi-use kind of place. No airfield can really sustain itself purely on landing fees and a bit of fuel sales.
It's a place, and I hope they can find a solution, because I worked there for 6 months. It's actually the 6 months shortly before they closed for GA, and that is a coincidence. Wasn't my fault, but it was a great place to be. So I'd love to see the site brought back. So I hope they can find a way forward.
Yeah.
You would all like to see the site brought back, and yeah, absolutely. Good. So there you go. So I'm not arguing with it. And then something else going on in Swansea.
Yeah, this is Swansea, which is another saga, unfortunately. The council now, Swansea Council, has finally decided to take legal action to take the lease away from the current operator. If you remember, the council issued a new lease in January on the advice of the council officers. And then less than a few weeks later, the COA took its licence away because it was not meeting all sorts of needs to justify the licence. So it's a bit of a pickle. The council will probably have to go to court to take the lease away because they've only just given it to the guy, so they've got to prove that they were wrong in the first place. So anyway, that's the current position. There are people waiting in the wings to take it over. As we interviewed Bob Oliver from the Swansea Airport Stakeholders Association, and they're a not-for-profit association. Come up with some really good ideas. By the word stakeholders, it means they've involved everybody who's got an interest, apart from the current operator, and they're just waiting to take over. But it's a process got to go through first.
Lots of potential in Swansea. Lots of potential.
Yeah.
Great part of the world, but at the moment, not. I think the current trend for young people to say is Swansea is not living its best life currently.
No.
You probably say.
True.
Okay, quick story. I'm not quite sure we got this in here, and it was probably a mistake I made the other day. But anyway, there you go. No, in fact, I'm going to do it later. I'm going to cancel that, and I'll come along. And Ed, I'm going to go straight over to you for those airability people.
Okay, I can do that. So this week, the disabled flying charity Airability said that they're on the hunt for 2 more aeroplanes to join their fleet. So they're looking for 2 things specifically. One is a Piper PA-28 Warrior or Archer, and the other is a Piper Cherokee 6, ideally a PA-32-260. Now, obviously, Airability's mission is to change lives by providing the disabled community access to the magic and wonder of flight. Does this with a range of flying opportunities, including taking the control of aircraft. Hence the charity's motto: "If I can fly an aeroplane, what else can I do?" Mike Miller-Smith told us, who's the chief executive of Airability, told us that the PA-28s required just purely on the basis of demand. They've got lots and lots of flyers, lots of scholarships, and there's a great need to fulfil that. So, and the Cherokee 6 provides them with the capability, because they use hoists to get disabled people in and out of aeroplanes. It's the opportunity to hoist someone into the aeroplane, put hoist into the aeroplane. You could fly somewhere, hoist them back out, and you can take the disabled flying opportunity kind of on the road. So if you have a Warrior, an Archer, or a Cherokee 6, or know someone who is looking to sell one of those, and remember, it needs to be it's a charity, so let's help them find some nice aeroplanes. Get them to drop Airability a line.
Let's find a jolly nice Cherokee 6 260 and sell it for the correct price. And do a great job. And I mean, Airability, just a stunning charity. What a great bunch of chaps. Some of us will be looking forward to going to their ball later on this year in November. I believe tickets are completely sold out at the moment.
It's sold out faster than Glastonbury, didn't it?
I didn't know that.
Well, I don't know. I just made that up purely for dramatic effect.
Okay, it's sold out faster than Glastonbury.
And they're shipping in 20 tons of mud.
Yeah, no, that's not.
That's a different event.
They're changing venue, and I think this is the 30th anniversary or something. I should really know this, and Mike, I do apologise. I don't. I'm sorry. I can't remember. I think it's the 30th. Anyway, it's going to be a great night. But if you haven't got tickets, sorry. But in the meantime, let's see if we can't find them a great airplane. That would be jolly good. Following on a bit of sad news, Ed.
Yes, on me again. Some sad news. So in a message posted to Facebook Microlight groups today, it was announced that Tony Hughes, owner of Wiltshire Microlight Centre, passed away last night. Tony had been a stalwart microlight pilot and instructor, very well known in the whole microlighting world. He'd been suffering from prostate cancer. His wife Sue extended a big thank you to the staff at his hospice for the care they gave Tony, and also praised a group of 13 pilots who took part in a fly past over his hospice on Tuesday. That was organised by a guy called Julian Midder from White Horse Aviation, and it was on the BBC local news, which was amazing to see. So, but just very sad. Tony had been a big supporter of flyer in our free landings when he ran
the
Yatesbury. That's it. So yeah, very sad.
I'm pretty sure I went flying with Tony quite a long time ago now. From Yatesbury.
Two questions relating to Airability. Aerotique says, "Will Ian be dancing
at the ball?"
I guess so.
Look, I'm not proud of this, but I should just make it clear that the ball is a festive occasion, and occasionally there is alcohol on the table, and somebody clearly spikes my drink with alcohol.
That
And
chestnut.
there's a short period of time when I've had a little bit too much to drink, and before I'm asleep, when I think dancing is a good idea.
Sounds like a narrow window.
And that probably combines with me thinking that I can actually, what do they call it? Put some shapes out or something.
That's it, yeah. Darren's still threatening with that video. Mike Miller-Smith reminds us, 1993 to 2023. Fantastic, 30 years.
Yeah. 30 years.
Just a bit of advice to anybody out there. If Mike Miller-Smith ever asks you something, just say yes, because he is the best, most persuasive, genuine, inspiring leader I think I've ever come across in aviation, and I've met a few. So just whatever Mike asks, just go, yeah, okay, Mike. Because you will end up doing that in the end anyway. So you might as well just shortcut it and save yourself the trouble and go, all right then. But there you go. Good.
Has some book news, I feel.
Yes, a book. David Ogilvy, who many people will have heard of, is co-founder of the Vintage Aircraft Club, former general manager of the Shuttleworth Collection, ex-RAF, meteor pilot, meteor instructor. Anyway, he died was it earlier this year or last year?
Yeah, very recently.
Very recently. Anyway, he was working on his last book before his death. It's now been published. It's called Flying, Preserving Historic Aircraft, The Memoirs of David Ogilvy, OBE. It's published this month by Pen and Sword Books. And I've got a PDF of it to review. Haven't actually got the book itself, but we'll be putting a review on the website soon as well.
Fantastic.
Cool. Excellent. Right, just to wrap up the news, I thought it'd be worth having a little chat with Annabelle there, who's been away. Where have you been, Annabelle? Tell us all about it.
Yes, I was lucky enough to be able to attend the very last air races at Reno a few weeks ago. So, there's a few of my pictures. So this particular picture, this is a British pilot. I think he was the only British pilot taking part this year. Lovely guy called Neil, whose day job is flying Spitfires. So Neil was flying, this is a kit plane, this is a Glass Air. He had a bit of bad luck, so he didn't do as well as we'd hoped. He was going very, very well and was unfairly disqualified.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, he ended up at the back. But
what do you get disqualified for at Reno? What do you have to do?
So the rules are very strict, quite obviously, about how high you can fly and how you turn within the circuit. And as they were lining up to go across the start line, the pilot next to him said that Neil was cutting into his lane. So Neil straightened out a little bit, and then they said that there was a misunderstanding about how much he straightened out. You then have an hour in which to go back to the stewards and make your case. But of course, by the time they finished the race, landed, taxied the aircraft, you haven't actually got time. So the cockpit video did show that he hadn't done anything wrong, but it was out of time. So really unfortunate, but yeah, he was very good.
Wasn't there a VAR scandal? I know nothing about football, but there seemed to be like a big news story recently.
Liverpool, yeah.
It's football.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that looks amazing.
I was really, really lucky to get this shot. So with a media pass, and thank you, Flyer, for sending me out with media credentials. I was able to go into a draw to get a visit to a couple of the pylons. This particular pylon 4, is very special. So this is the one I was standing underneath.
Wow.
Apparently, fewer people have stood at pylon 4 than have summited Everest. And this is the reason why, is because as the aircraft get started in the race, they come over the ridge and they come straight for your head.
Wow.
So this was the start of one of the unlimited rounds. So there were 7, I think, basically beefed up. Hang on, that's more than 7. There was 8. I think one's just out of shot.
Yeah.
So mostly beefed up Mustangs heading straight for us. And that's kind of, the craziness of Reno. They were all sort of around 60 foot off the ground doing hundreds of miles an hour. And it's, straight on.
Ian and I went one year, and when we went out to a pylon, someone said for one lap, just put your camera down and just stand there and stare. It's amazing. It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the noise. It's the whole. You can feel the earth kind of vibrating with the noise. You can smell the burning fuel come past. Rumor has it that sometimes the more experienced pilots have enough capability that they give a little wave or another little hand signal to the camera people, the people with cameras on the ground. I didn't see any of that in my pictures, but yeah. This is a couple of T6s. I think people will have heard probably the sad news about what happened in the final T6 race. This isn't those two, but this just captures middle of a race, just how close the aircraft are and just how experienced the pilots have to be. And this final picture, this is an Australian lady called Tam Camilleri. She's racing the L29. Her husband races the same. They have two L29s. They race. And she was hoping to race against him this year, but the other aircraft went tech. So unfortunately, yeah, they weren't able to do that.
You mean she's like, oh no, I really want to race against you, and then maybe left a spanner in the aeroplane?
Yeah. But she met her husband at Reno and they got married.
Oh, what an amazing story.
Yeah, so yeah, nice, really nice lady, Australian. Flies corporate charters for a living and then races jets at the weekend because that's what people do.
Right. But as your first and the last Reno, how was it?
I loved it. I really loved it. It's big, it's loud, it's over the top, but it's really good fun. Everybody there was really welcoming. They made so much time just to have random chats with this person, just saying, "Hi, I'm you. Can you tell me?" I got chatting, for example, with the guy that owns and flies T6, very well-known T6 called Big Red. And mentioned that I have an aircraft that has a nickname of Big Red, and immediately it was, come on in, have a margarita, come back tonight, yeah, join the party. And that wasn't that unusual. I think we got invited to 3 or 4 sort of after race parties at various pits. I think after the end of the 4th day, I was Reno'd out, but also we made some genuine friends, and I think I'm really hopeful that the event continues, and I will really like to be there at the first one of Chapter 2.
Maybe it's time for you to sign up for Pylon Race School for the future.
Yeah, into Big Red. I've got a question about this picture here. Are you sure that's Reno? Because that looks a little bit like the BMAA rally at Poplars.
Yeah, and also those plants, they're juniper.
Oh right.
So there's a really wonderful smell of gin and tonic while you're
Gin.
sipping. Yes,
Fantastic.
it's great. Yeah.
Brilliant. Good.
Fantastic.
Right.
Well, very good.
Thank you very much for that. It is nearly 8 o'clock, so that means it's time to bring on our guest, Amelia Richards. So there you go. Hello, Amelia. How are you? Yeah. You just find the right button to press. There you go. Got it in one. Okay, and Annabelle's going to lead this, so we'll move Annabelle to the top. Thank you for joining us. Annabelle, over to you.
Thank you. So, Amelia, you're 16. You are the youngest gliding instructor in the UK and possibly even in the world. You have been recognised by aviation organisations for your contributions towards raising the profile of gliding, and you made your first powered solo flight just a few days ago. Welcome to the Fly Livestream.
Thank you.
I know you're a keen air cadet, but how do your school friends and your family feel about you having this hobby? Because it's pretty unusual for anyone, excuse me, anyone, but particularly for a woman and particularly for someone so young.
It's a strange one to explain to people. I never really took on any normal sports that typically a girl would do. I tried horse riding and then tried mountain biking and rally driving, boating, all the, well, tick the adrenaline filled box, but none of it really did it for me till 3.5 years ago, until I took my first flight in a glider, and 3.5 years later, here I am. I love it. It's a cool thing to explain to people as well. This is what I do.
And what led to you doing that first flight? Was that for the air cadets?
It wasn't actually. My dad brought me a flying lesson because I'd always wanted to do it. And I tried a powered flight back in 2018, and it was a little bit too expensive for for us. So my dad brought me a gliding lesson, and I was hooked straight away. And yeah, here I am. It's just such a stunning and amazing thing to do.
Yeah, and your dad's one of your biggest supporters, isn't he? I know he's been instrumental in supporting you to get where you've got.
Oh, exactly. Well, getting to the airfield every weekend, it wouldn't happen without him. And yeah, just he's so supportive as well. I just wouldn't be here where I am today without him. And he was my very first passenger as an instructor, and it was sort of the least thing I could do for him. And he's a really big supporter, and I would never be where I am today without him.
Yeah, how did that feel, taking your dad for his first flight in a glider? Was that nerve-wracking, exciting?
A lot of different emotions. I'd always wanted to, show people how amazing aviation is through and being an instructor, because it was first-hand experience. I will admit my training was tough. Lots of launch failures and just making sure I was definitely good to go. And it was a really, really cool flight, and it was probably one of the smoothest flights I've ever experienced. It was like literally flying a magic carpet. It was so smooth and just so cool.
And is your dad hooked now as well? Is he going to get start to do some gliding?
I've been trying. I think he's going to stick on his mountain bike a few years longer, but I'll try my best.
Yeah, I think you should. So I think you said before that your long-term aim is to become military aircrew for the RAF. Is that still what your dream is?
That's still right up there. The number one route I'd like to go is to be a pilot in the RAF, and if that doesn't work out, I'd like to be a weapons systems operator in the RAF, because it looks, even if I'm flying, I'm happy.
And what aircraft would you like to be flying in the RAF?
Well, I've got a lot of favorites. My favorite aircraft is the C-130, which was sadly retired a few months ago. But I'd like to go on the Eurofighter, because it's just such a cool aeroplane.
Yeah, no, great. That's very cool. You said that the favorite aircraft is the C-130. Is that your favorite of all aircraft? If you had unlimited resources, what would you choose?
Oh my goodness, I have too many. It's like subcategories of categories.
Throw us a few.
I love the C-130, but then my favorite, I don't really have a favorite glider, because I've flown a lot and they're all just so cool. I think my favorite motor glider is the SF-25C, because it's quite a nice aircraft to fly, and yeah, it's a lot of fun to fly. Honestly, I've got too many, just far too many.
So your fantasy hangar is going to be very, very full.
Definitely.
And I know that you won a BWPA scholarship to get into competition aerobatics. So how's that going? I've seen on some of your videos that you've been doing a lot of aerobatic training and flying. So are you nearly at the stage to be able to take part? How's that coming along?
Potentially next year. It's all the thing with glider aerobatics is you need specific cloud base as well. You want the cloud base to be quite high for training, so at least 4,000 feet. And well, the British weather isn't always on our side, especially at weekends, which is when I fly. But when I can, I occasionally pop down to Oxford Gliding Club and borrow one of their K21s and just flip it upside down, because it's so much fun. I love it though. It's cool.
So really nice.
Yeah, ultimately, you might need to get yourself one of those. Is it the MDM Fox, which is the really aerobatic single-seater?
I've been eyeing it up. Definitely one day. I'd love to go and have a go in it.
Fantastic.
So, when you took your dad flying, was that a winch launch or was that an aerotow?
It was an aerotow, because I fly from RAF Shoreby Gliding Club, and we do aerotow behind the motor gliders there. It's a cool way to launch. I like doing it. It's very sedate. It's not too exciting. If anyone's ever experienced a winch launch, you know what it's like. You leave your stomach on the ground behind. It's quite funny.
It's pretty funky, your first winch launch, isn't it?
Oh yeah, especially when you deafen your instructor as well.
A big scream.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't do it anymore. Don't worry. Well, I scream with excitement, really. Yeah, it occasionally comes out.
That's all right, we all do. And this week you made your first, as Annabelle mentioned, you made your first motor glider flight, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right. I've been working with this amazing flight school called Motor Glide, which is actually really close to me, and it's such an amazing place to do it. I got a scholarship from the Air League just to help me get into powered flying, which was in the motor gliders. And I would admit, I can't believe how little rudder you have to use and how much right rudder you have to use. Because a fantastic instructor, Ashley, I don't know how many times she said, more right rudder. Because, oh yeah, it was a lot of fun though. And I will admit, it was challenging. But next step's navigation and fertile as well. And we'll see where we go from there. I can't wait to see what adventures lie ahead with it. It's really, really cool.
There's a comment in the comments from Pete Stratton, who you might know as boss of BGA. Amelia is an aviation social media powerhouse too. Tell us a little bit about that, because I think you're quite big with gliding on TikTok, aren't you?
I'm based across TikTok and Instagram. I mainly use Instagram. They're two very different social media platforms. Instagram's definitely grown the most in the 3 years I've been doing it. Social media is a fabulous resource. It's hard work, I will admit. It's constantly posting stuff out there, trying to get varied content as well. And it hit 1,000 followers 2.5 years ago, and just went like that ever since. And it's brought me some really cool opportunities as well. And I just love showing what I get up to at weekends.
What's been your favourite opportunity that's brought to you so far?
I've had a lot. I think my favorite one was going to RIAT this year and going and helping out on some of their social media. It was a really cool experience because I got to go up and shove my head in with the Typhoon display team, which were a really nice group of people. Had a brilliant time, brilliant day. Did get wet. It was very, very wet. If anyone went to RIAT this year, we went on the Sunday. It was very, very showery, but it was definitely worth going.
And RIAT, we saw you doing a bunch of little speed interviews with people, and that reminded us that we had quite a while ago we had a quiz on Flyer Livestream called the Right Stuff Quiz. Now, earlier on, we sat down and came up with 10 questions. So, Amelia, Ian is going to give you your Flyer Livestream Right Stuff Quiz. So let's see how you fare. Ian, are you ready with the questions?
I'm ready with the questions. When we used to do this, we had some dramatic music that occasionally played, but often didn't. So you just kind of have to hum that music. I can't even find the... Don't even think we've got...
We famously used to play a countdown clock that no one could ever hear. So
that was it. Yeah, the countdown clock, wasn't there? Was there? Did we ever write? Oh, there was a Right Stuff intro. Here it is. Let's bring it back. Dust it off.
Oh, no.
Hang on a second.
Not the Right Stuff intro.
Right Stuff intro. It's like an old friend.
I can see why we don't play that anymore.
I enjoyed that. I was getting all nostalgic and everything.
It's great, Ian. It's really good.
You could sound more sincere, Annabelle.
I was really trying there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Ian.
right. Here we go then, Amelia. Some of these. Well, let's see how you go on. Okay. So, do you prefer aero tow or winch launch?
Oh, you're throwing this in the bag, you are. I like both of them. I'm not sure it's meant to answer like that.
You got to pick. You're gonna make one feel bad.
I'm gonna go aerotow.
Okay.
Or winch launch.
And do you prefer soaring solo or instructing?
Instructing.
Instructing. Good. And when it comes to aerobatics, are you a loop or a half Cuban?
Half Cuban.
Half Cuban. Okay. And for your future career, I don't fear. I think we know the answer to this one already. Military or commercial?
Military.
Military. Typhoon or F-22?
I'm gonna have to go Typhoon. So much cooler.
Okay.
Sorry.
In terms of venue, do you prefer Fairford or Lasham?
Lasham.
Yeah, Pete Stratton's watching. Good answer. Lettuce Curtis or Amy Johnson?
Amy Johnson.
Okay. Motor glider or pure sailplane?
Oh, you can't throw that one in. That one's really bad. Oh, no, you can't throw that one in.
Just do the right stuff. If it was easy.
Yeah.
I know. You stumped me, honestly. Can you skip questions? I can't answer that one.
You can throw a pass in there if you want.
Oh. Right, I like motor gliders because it's got an engine on the front, and you can go places without landing in fields, which I've experienced recently. I love gliders because they're so pure. But the great thing about the motor glider is you can just turn the engine off and you're a glider. Glider ratio is not quite as good, but yeah. Oh, you've really stumped me. I'm going to have to pass that one. I can't answer that one.
Okay. Well, here's an easy one for you then. Films, Top Gun or Maverick?
Top Gun.
Top Gun. Oh, welcome to the original. Excellent. Well, and last but not least, and there's only one right answer to this, but you haven't done the navigation bit of your motor glider training yet, so you might not think. North up or track up?
I quite like track up. It looks quite nice.
Stop there.
Stop there. You're making it.
Perfect.
I mean, clearly, everyone below 60 prefers.
It says good answers, Amelia. This is an aeroplane forum after all.
No. North up every time.
Right, like I said, anyone over 60 likes North up.
So, Amelia, in the comments, someone says, can you advise other youngsters on how to get into aviation? My 10-year-old daughter is watching and wants to get into gliders.
Oh, that's a brilliant question. Getting into gliding is such a cool thing to do. The British Gliding Association have just released their amazing thing called Go Gliding, and it's actually a program to help educate people around gliding and how to get into it. Also, it ticks all the boxes for STEM, which are all vital in the curriculum. So STEM is science, technology, engineering, and maths. And gliding ticks all those boxes, from keeping the aircraft maintained, all to learning about meteorology and basic aerodynamics. It all ticks those boxes. My best advice is go onto the British Gliding Association website, find your local club on their amazing Club Finder page, and you can book from there. Also, there's also some fantastic organizations out there that are willing to help you get into gliding because of how cool it is. My first one's going to be the Air League. They've just release their scholarships next year, and they do a gliding to solo scholarship. I can't remember the exact name, but it's something like that on the Air League website. It's fantastic because they're training you up to solo, and it's a fantastic way to get started. The BWPA, brilliant organisation for fellow female pilots as well. That's brilliant. I highly recommend it. The Launch Point Trust as well, highly recommend them. They're really good. The Honourable Company of Air Pilots as well, they're fantastic. And I got a brilliant taste of aviation through the Aviatrix project. If you're want to experience some powered flying as well, that's a really, really good way to do it. There's so many routes into it, and it's such an amazing sport, and just go for it. I love it. It's so much fun.
Fantastic. I couldn't keep up with all the links. I got some of them in the comments there.
Brilliant. Yeah. Well, that was so what I mean, I think we mentioned at the beginning you're 16, so I guess you got a couple of years of A-levels or stuff to do, and then uni, and then join the university air squadron-y type thing, or?
So my plan is to do A-levels and then go straight in, partly because I think if you want to be a pilot, you've got to be 18 to 23 years old to join. I really want to go straight in. It will be quite cool experience. It's a big wide world out there. A-levels are all right, actually, challenging, but they're not too bad, actually.
Cool.
What subjects are you studying, Amelia?
I wanted to go a bit more diverse range of subjects, not physics, math, that kind of stuff. I've gone on geography, food science, and product design. They're all a bit strange, bizarre, but yeah, they're different because I never got to experience those in secondary school. So yeah, I'm chucking myself in the deep end a little bit.
Brilliant. Well, good luck. I think it's probably. I think people watching the interview and seeing what you've done so far would say it's a fair bet that you're going to do pretty well, whatever it is you decide to do anyway, because it's clearly just about following your passion and digging deep and getting involved. And
thank you. I hope my cooking's as good as my flying, though. That is, yeah.
Well, I think maybe you could just do some cooking for the flyer team, and then we can advise them.
Yeah,
we can tell you. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I wouldn't cook for the. Well, no one needs my toast. That's the limit of my ability.
Good. Well, Amelia, thank you very much. I hope we'll have a chance to chat to you in a couple of years when you're I don't know, sitting on the front line of a Typhoon squadron, or they brought the C-130 back or something like that, and got you flying the historic. Who knows? Yeah. Have we got any burning questions in the comments?
No, there's lots of people in support, and the big question was the how can young people get into gliding, and where can people follow you on social media, Amelia?
Oh, so I'm mainly based on Instagram and TikTok. I've got some plans of going on to YouTube, but it's just see how A-level and that flying balances out with that. But on both Instagram and TikTok, my handle is at Amelia_glider_pilot or Amelia Glide Pilot. So if you're drop me a follow, message me that you saw me on the live stream, and I'll be brilliant to have some more followers, because I love showing it to people because it's so cool.
Cool.
Okay, I think and I'll find you on TikTok as well and post the link to that too. Oh, there we go. I found it already.
Thank you.
Yeah, brilliant. Amelia, thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we look forward to seeing you, I don't know, out and about on the airfields, gliding somewhere, and
Absolutely.
Future life, no doubt. So thank you very much, and good luck with everything.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
A current and future star.
Sorry, that was a bit quick with my.
That's all right. As Nick Allen said, definitely a current and future star, I think, there. So there's a link also to Amelia's TikTok channel. I found myself watching TikTok videos for the first time ever. She does a great job. Yeah, very, very good. Jane Derek King says, Jane, Air Cadet's a great place to instill citizenship. Oh, wow, 100%. It's quite deep. I 100% applaud what you do. Fantastic.
Thanks.
Very good.
It's really good.
Good. Right. Okay. So Fancy Hanger. Sorry, I need to click through my pages. So this week, inspired by our guest, and who knows, maybe we'll go back to Amelia. You can hang around in the green room, and maybe we'll come back to you through
later.
Oh, she's brought her back. Ian's brought you back.
Only just a quick message.
Hey,
You're back now. You're back on screen.
Inspired by Amelia, we figured we would pick our motor gliders for Fancy Hanger. So, who's first?
I think you should go first for a change, Ed.
I can do that because I'm pretty sure I've picked something that I personally really like, but I think everyone will go, "What the hell is that?" And no one will like it. So I picked this, the AMS Flight Carrot. It's a single.
What the hell is
that? It's a single-seat, high-performance motor glider. It first flew in 1997. It was designed and built by Technoflug in Germany. It's now made by AMS in Slovenia, and it was built around the horizontal tail and wings of a Schempp Discus. And they made a new fin, fuselage, and undercarriage, and an engine on the front. And I just think it's quite clever in that. Oh no, Darren, it's far too fast to be going headlong. That's just harsh already. But it's got this really clever propeller that centrifuges out, and then when you're gliding, it folds the blades forwards in a super low drag position, and it's got this really clever little undercarriage that retracts forwards. And okay, it's not the prettiest aeroplane around, but I just think that looks like a lot of fun.
And you can impale things as you fly along.
Yes, exactly. You can go. There's not many aeroplanes that come equipped for jousting, is there?
Well, Concorde, yeah.
I think you'd lose against Concorde, wouldn't you?
Yes. Well, maybe.
Thank goodness it's not painted orange.
Yes.
Okay. Annabelle, would you like to go next?
Yeah, sure. This was quite tricky, actually. My first choice was the Farno Colibri, which I'm hoping there's a picture of, because I would put it in my hangar just so I get the giggles every time I saw it, because that's just fantastic. It just reminds me. It reminds me of something out of.
Right, enough of that. Move on. What's your actual choice?
My sensible and practical choice is the Grob G109B Able. As the Vigilant, this aircraft allowed huge numbers of people to get airborne through the Air Cadets. Many of them have had amazing careers in aviation, and it might not have happened without the Vigilant giving opportunity for free flight. As a CO of an Air Cadet squadron, I saw the difference that the aircraft made, and I really love a piece of that history in my hangar. And actually, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd love to know how many of tonight's live stream viewers had their first flight experience in one. On a practical level, it's side-by-side seating, so it's sociable, it's great visibility, there's room for a bit of luggage. And if all that wasn't enough, by having one, you're contributing towards the work of airability.
You should be a diplomat. Right, before we get to Dave, who I think could be the winner this week, I want to put in my strong contender, which I chose after Annabelle rejected it. That's the Farno Colibri. I was going to choose the Schweitzer Surveillance motor glider, but it just looked really dull after a while. So after this, this was built by a Swiss guy called Hans Farner, funnily enough, in the late 70s. It's got a 42-to-1 glide ratio, which is pretty impressive, actually. But I think the most impressive thing is if you look at that long snouty type thing with the canard on front, that was kind of like a different control system. So probably, if not, it should have. So that whole kind of, what do you call it, proboscis on the nose of it moves forward and back and changes the angle of attack and stuff like that, and changes the pitch. And then the kind of rudder controls actually tilts that sort of left and moves it from horizontal left and right, which is why there's no actual rudder on it. And believe it or not, although it looks like there's one engine there, there's actually two engines. It's a twin. It's two McCulloch 13 horsepower engines that are geared to drive that prop, which is pretty impressive. And as Ed pointed out earlier when we were researching it, that particular aeroplane, of which there is only one of its kind, to be honest, flew into the PFA rally in 1989, which would that have been Lynham? Not Raw?
No, it was it came into a Cranfield rally.
A Cranfield rally.
But that's just bonkers.
I know. It is.
Your motor glider makes mine look pretty.
If someone said to me, "Would you like to fly that?" I would definitely say, "No, put me in a gyrocopter instead, or a gyro, whatever they're called. I'll do that instead." There you go. So that just leaves us with you, Dave.
I feel it could be a Dave wins, because having seen this earlier, it's like.
Hang on a second. Have you seen this? Surely everyone wants to believe.
And to be honest, Ian, I can't unsee it now. That's the trouble.
Right.
So,
Dave, give us your winner.
So my winner, well, it's my possible winner, is what's called an Arcus J. It's created by a company called Desert Aerospace in the States. It's big thing about it, of course. It's got a jet engine. It's got a Czech-made PBS TJ100 jet engine mounted above it that can fold away when it needs to, so when it's going to gliding mode. To show how good this aeroplane is, Airbus, no less, have taken two to carry out a project they call Blue Condor, which is to conduct high-altitude contrail analysis. It's all to do with burning hydrogen in jet airliners. They want to find out what the effect on the atmosphere will be. But they've got two of these to go up to 33,000 feet. And then obviously once you're there, you can just glide, and there it is.
I have to say that on the basis that Fancy Hangar is things that make you go, wow, what is that? That is if you had that sat in the corner of your Fancy Hangar, that is a wow aeroplane.
Yeah.
It is a wow aeroplane. It's also at 33,000 feet a freaking cold aeroplane, I would imagine.
Yeah, you definitely need warm clothes. I feel for that. But hey, you've got a jet. And out the back.
So you can behind, can you? Go up, it's a bit toasty.
Yeah, how do you stop? I presume someone's thought about melting the fin.
Yeah,
it's flying, so somehow it works.
Yeah.
Amelia, I mean, this is kind of like an honorary vote because we ask everybody who's watching to vote on the winner. So, but who would you vote for in all of that?
It's gonna have to be Dave. That was I've flown in an Arcus M, which is a self-launching version. Instead of a jet, it's got a propeller that pops out like that. And it's an amazing airplane to fly, and it's comfortable. But I will admit, at 10,000 feet and it's -10 outside, it's quite chilly. But yeah, I can't believe what a jet would sound like in a glider. That's got to be so cool, honestly.
The Arcus J is basically an Arcus M with a jet engine.
Yeah, it looks very cool.
Very good. And to be fair, everyone in the comments, very few people have voted for me. In fact, no one has voted for me.
Has anyone voted for me, Ed?
There is no Ed wins. I have not seen an Ian wins yet, but I have seen. Oh, well, Mark Litherland says Ian's looks like something my proctologist has.
Something to celebrate, Mark.
No, Colin Wilkinson says only one maid says it all. And there's an awful lot of Dave wins, Dave wins, Dave wins, Dave wins. Dave wins just because of jet engine. Dave wins. It's fair to say it might actually be Dave wins after Ian, and my dustbin would win. But after Ian, my dustbin would win. That's harsh. I thought I was in a bad place, but actually, Ian, you took away my ability to come last. So
I just thought it was. When I saw it, I realised it was probably not a strong contender for the win. But I kind of saw it. Oh yeah, it's different, isn't it? And I would never fly it. I would have no interest in flying it.
Martin Hands says, Ian, it's the anteater.
Yeah, I think every fancy hangar needs something a bit weird in it, doesn't it?
It does.
So, yeah, well done, Dave.
But I have to say that is a fantastic looking machine.
Yeah.
Not too shabby at all, is it? Not too shabby at all.
No,
Right.
Really nice.
Have we got time to whip back through the comments and see about the people who went solo in gliders?
We do. Talk amongst yourselves, and I'll just wind backwards a little bit because it's going to need a little bit of winding back. And I am back there. And hang on a moment. John Milner says, "I love Annabelle. She's brilliant. Just remember to spell her name right, John."
We discussed that.
We did discuss that. Let's not do that again, Ian.
There we go. Right. So Ron D says, yes, I soloed in a K21. Michael Pear said T21. Derek Ings, T21 said and T31 Mark III. K13, for Mike Miller Smith of Airability. K21 from Uphaven. Blanick Swallow a Mucha. What the hell's a Mucha? I don't know. Well, a 126, not a 116. Slingsby T31 initially. Another T31, Air Cadets at Halton. Pete Stratton says Blanick. Is it Blanick or Blanick? Blanick. Clive Sutton says K21 at Shennington. Stedbergen and Mark III says Aviator Steve. Kat Burton says T21 and 31 at St Athan. in 634 VGS. Ewan Reed says Pushaz at Aboyne. Towed a T21 in Thailand. Towed in 1976 at Slingsby T21 called Bluebell at Duxford. Possibly our best story yet. So, and apparently Chris Holliday said there's a good episode of Just Plain Silly on YouTube from our friend Brian Turner trying his hand at gliding. Well, I feel we may have to check that. Might be homework. Check that out and report back this week. Michael Ward says T31 1975. Alistair McGregor says Old Sarum and a K13. There we go. There's lots of people harking back to their glider solos. So
excellent. Well, if you're watching this on catch up, don't forget to stick that in the comments as well, so we can go and have a look at that. Right, Dave, have we got much in the way of events, or is everyone sort of pulling down the curtains for the winter?
No, there's a couple of events. On Saturday, there's the Vintage Flying at Compton Abbas. There's also, I've just discovered, a barbecue special at Leicester Airport from 12 noon to 1500. Sunday, there's an autumn flying at Kenyon Hall. That's near Manchester. And next week, there's one of our events, Flight Crew Futures, which is being held at Gatwick. You can find out more about that on the website.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Well, and I can say that if the barbecue at Leicester's anything like the one they did for us at the Members' Day, that was a very good barbecue. So highly recommended. Great. On that basis, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Amelia, for joining us. Thank you, Annabelle, for stepping in and being a stunt Johnny, as it were. And thank you, team. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your flying. Fly safe. And we'll see you next Wednesday for the members. There was that. I knew there was something. If you're still watching and you're not a member, go to the website and sign up. £5, loads of landing fees all over the place. Just do it, please. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Fly safe, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.